They are massive, heavily secured, and a lot more important to your daily life than you likely realize. Data centers are on the rise here in Indiana, and some say the state of Indiana, in fact, is becoming a hot spot in this tech gold rush. For months now, our Alex Almanza has been digging into the impact of these facilities and now shows us why some of the biggest names in tech are stirring controversy here at home.
Whether it's social media or a simple search, the cloud powers it all, and the rise of artificial intelligence is fueling a race for the facilities behind it. More and more, those data centers are plugging in here in Indiana. According to datacentermap.com, the state now has 72 facilities, up nearly 30% since March. Big tech is leading the charge. Amazon broke ground on an 800-acre project in northern Indiana, and Google is building a $2 billion site in Fort Wayne.
Everyone's trying to jockey for that position because whoever gets it right, it'll have a multiplier effect in terms of economic development in general.
More than 30 are already in central Indiana, sometimes closer than you think. In the shadows of Lucas Oil Stadium, Otava runs one of them.
I'm TJ Howski, Chief Executive Officer here at Otava.
Howski moved the company's headquarters here from Michigan, calling it a smart move.
When you kind of look at the way Indiana is structured, both policy, infrastructure, and just natural economic investment and growth, it's a great tech hub. It's an emerging tech hub.
So what's inside? Well, 13 News was given access to Otava's operation.
Yep.
Inside, 24/7 security, a threat detection map, and walls of servers that keep clients online.
What you'll notice is the volume, the noise is very different in here, right? Because you have more workloads. We have Otava infrastructure in here to support cloud expansion, and then we have private cages where customers have their own co-location, their own equipment, they're using our real estate. But this is, what you're going to see in different flavors and formats in any data center.
Hundreds of fans keep the servers cool. Security here's strict. Even our cameras were monitored to protect proprietary hardware.
Why is it important to have cages and security like this?
Unsupervised, without physical security, anybody would have access to anybody else's equipment.
But not everyone's a fan of Indiana's new crop. The state offers tax breaks to lure these facilities in. The state calls it a win-win, but says local communities have the final say. Just last month, the Indiana Economic Development Corporation approved incentives for 4 projects, including one in Franklin Township.
This petition has been approved.
Quiet, please. Quiet, please.
At its rezoning meeting, Google's proposed data center launched a fierce debate. Residents packed the room, booing commissioners after they voted to rezone hundreds of acres of farmland. They say big projects like this consume enormous resources and don't provide enough jobs.
Everybody has said no, and it's still happening. When do the people who live there matter?
Others argue it keeps Indiana competitive.
This is the first of many that are going to happen. This is the future, and it is a technology that we need to do the things that help our lives.
Federal reports show in 2023, data centers nationwide used 17 billion gallons of water for cooling. Experts say that number could double in 5 years. Google alone reported one Iowa site used 1 billion gallons in a single year. If approved by the Indianapolis City County Council in September, Indiana's project would mark the state's second Google project. Councilor Michael Paul Hart, who represents part of Franklin Township, says it would hurt more than help.
Is that the right fit for that area or not? And as I boil it down to, it's not.
Hart has multiple degrees in IT and even works for a company that builds servers for data centers.
There are 50 jobs per building. And so we're not really getting what, when you talk about development of an area, what it needs to help grow the city of Indianapolis. It might be a nice shiny logo, but it's not actually helping us go up and to the right.
He argues it offers few jobs, little economic impact, and could strain power supply.
How much we can build is going to be dependent on how much power we can supply.
Governor Braun is pushing nuclear energy as a way to meet the soaring demand from projects like data centers. A Purdue study found small modular reactors could provide reliable carbon-free power, though critics warn they come with safety safety concerns and even high costs.
We also have to look at whether or not what we're proposing would lend itself to economical rates and whether or not it complies with the 5 pillars as well as providing safe and reliable energy.
Just recently, AES proposed a rate increase of $21 for customers, though the utility says that increase isn't because of data centers. For now, Indiana is at a crossroads, weighing the promise of a growth against the price of powering it, and the decisions made today could shape what the Hoosier State looks like for decades to come. I'm Alex Almanza for 13 News.
So while that Franklin Township Google data center cleared a key hurdle with the development commissioners just last week, now city councilors from both parties are uniting as GOP leaders move to call down that rezoning case and try to overturn the MDC's approval. We'll keep an eye on it.